Oh man, what is my next big Fantom trade? In this video, I'm going to share how I'm trading Fantom here with a big, long trade. Now, of course, this is going to depend on how Bitcoin holds up, where Bitcoin is currently at a critical level, struggling to break above its EMA ribbon. I'm going to break down exactly what I'm seeing here on Fantom, plus where I think Bitcoin could hold up and give us the support we need in this market. I'm going to break down the key levels and a lot more. Guys, make sure you check out the links in the description to our Telegram community. This trade here, which I shared with you the other day on storage, now worked its way straight through our second take profit, now sitting at 26% spot returns, close enough to our third take profit. This is the kind of trading I have managed to do on a regular basis. Set up my trades, stop loss in place, take profits in place, risk management dialed in, and I'm able to print 20 to 30% spot trades. If you're in our Telegram community, you're going to see all that. Make sure you get involved. Link is in the description. Now, let's get into this chart. What did we see here, guys? Very simply, let me get the highlighter. We need this big highlighter. We lost the trend. We go back up. We try to retest. Yesterday, we tried to break above. Got rejected, and same happening today. Okay, so you can see here today we're struggling to hold above the EMA ribbon here. Another doji candle so far here today. Can we either finish above and regain the trend, or are we going to get pushed back down by the bears back towards 41.6 and lose the trend? This is really important, because we need to decide, are we going to do this and work our way back towards 45 and then 48, or are we going to get rejected by the bears and head for our next pullback down towards that 38,000 level? We're in the balance right now. This market is sat there in the balance, and if you want evidence of that, just go look at the fear and greed index right there, slap bang in the middle, 55 just there. The market wants to decide, where are we going? Now, I'm going to react based on where we start to see this happen. I'm not going to predict the market. Some people will try to jump in and predict the market. That's not what I do. That's not how I become a predictable, sustainable trader. No, I just read the data that the market gives me, right? When I'm taking a trade like this stored trade that I'm sharing with you guys, I don't want to give you all the juice here, but you can see here, we're getting a breakout of this channel, and I'm just trading the probabilities. And I have my stop loss in place, I have my take profits in place, and I minimize my risk to the downside, right? Same here with my long-term investments. If we get rejected here and want to start coming back down towards 40, 38,000, I'm getting ready to nibble. If we want to break here to the upside and start working our way to the upside, great. I'm going to enjoy that because all my position is locked and loaded. I just keep a little bit of cash on the sidelines, ready to buy the dip. This is interesting because if you look at the traditional markets, you'll see that the traditional markets are just loving it, right? They've had a really good start to the year. They're all sitting at all-time highs. Risk is rotated on for the traditional markets, but Bitcoin, just since the ETF, hasn't been able to catch any serious momentum. I think personally the market is still quite bullish, right? I think the fact that we fell all the way down here to 40,000, we whipped down here on the lows to 38.5, and yet the market was still never fell into the fear and greed index, right? It never fell into the fear territory on this gauge, right? So it wasn't a real meaningful pullback. Now that has two implications. One, it tells us that the market is still bullish, but it also tells us that there's still a lot of greed in the market, which maybe with one more pullback needs to get flushed out. So either way, I'm really not too fussed whether Bitcoin wants to bounce now and go to the upside. Great. If it wants to pull to the downside, I'm going to take it as another opportunity to nibble, because like I shared with you yesterday, these wicks here, these crazy volatile wicks, this didn't produce enough of an opportunity for this to pull back, right? You had a couple of moments in here to buy at the lows of 38.5, but we've not had weekly candles closing in this vicinity coming towards the EMA ribbon. So personally, I'm not too fussed if this wants to pull back. If it does, I'll be looking to add in those dips. The other thing I wanted to share with you was the Bollinger Band. Again, this is another tool I use from technical analysis. You guys can learn this all. ijazcrypto.com/TA is my TA course where you'll learn all the indicators I use. Now, what do you know from the Bollinger Band? When you touch the upper bound, it's very common for you to want to either come to the middle or all the way down, right? Now, all the way down here on the weekly chart on the Bollinger Band does not look fun. That brings you all the way down here at 25K. I'm not calling for that. But if you look at the center line, where does that center line sit? 37,000. And that's always where I said that the pullback I think could happen, is that 37 to 38,000 range. We wick there. But again, is that enough? Are we that bullish that all we had to do was wick here, barely even touch the center line, and we're ready to go mount another attack up towards 49 and 50? Either way, the way I see it is the longer we pull back for, the longer we come into the center line of the Bollinger Band, the more we get to rest as bulls and mount a more serious attack at 50, right? Pullbacks are healthy. The more you pull back, the more energy you're going to have to go grab the liquidity further up when you're ready to go on your next leg up. So for me, Not too concerned if Bitcoin wants to have a couple of weeks here to the downside. Remember, like I've said, the ETF consequences and effect take time. There's a lag before we'll start to see that real money start to flow in, and I'm still bullish on it going into the rest of 2024. Also worth checking in on the dollar index. The dollar index is starting to form something a little bit worrying, which I shared with you the other day, is we're starting to see this weekly candle try to close above its weekly EMA ribbon. Remember, we need this to stay to the downside. We need this dollar index to get rejected and move to the downside, keeping risk firmly on. Okay, if this goes to the downside, that means risk is on. If it goes to the upside, risk is rotating off, which is not good for traditional markets, and it's not good for Bitcoin and altcoins. Okay, so very important that we watch this. Now, what's going to have an impact on this week? So all the big events we got this week, we've got a lot. We're going to start off with the JOLTS figure. We then get our employment figures later on in the week. You get your non-farm payrolls on Friday. But what do you get in between, guys? You guys should know. We get our FOMC meeting. So yes, on Wednesday, we do get the FOMC meeting, which I will be covering off with you guys. And look, let's see what the market's expecting. Let's give this a quick refresh. Let's see what the latest reading is here on this. Yeah, the market's not budged. Still 97% of the market expects a pause on Wednesday. And if we get anything else, the market is going to be shocked, right? And that's something we need to take into account. The other thing we need to take into account is not just what Jerome Powell announces in terms of the rate pause or cut, but also what he says in the press conference. Will he give us a clue of if we're going to cut in March? Will he say we're close or we're getting there or things are improving? If he says things like that, if he comes across dovish, markets could take that in a positive way. Because remember, about half of the market expects him to do his first rate cut on March the 20th, which is the next FOMC meeting after this one. So that's something for us to watch out for here in the market. Now, jumping back into crypto, let's take a look at some of the altcoins. I did want to cover off a little update here on Fantom. You see Fantom here managing to bounce off its weekly EMA ribbon, right? Nice pattern here, but again, it needs Bitcoin to hold up. If Bitcoin can hold up, you can see a nice move here to the upside here on Fantom, setting itself up really, really nicely. This is one of the trades I'm taking in our Telegram community, ijazcrypto.com/TG. So make sure you check that out. I've got a really good trade set up on Fantom, which can definitely print me some good gains if Bitcoin holds up, of course. Now, if we zoom this down to the daily chart, you will see Fantom is showing a little bit of strength, but same problem that Bitcoin's having, right? Just like how Bitcoin's getting rejected from its EMA ribbon, many altcoins here are struggling for the same. So Fantom yesterday ran above its EMA ribbon, closed back below. Today ran into its EMA ribbon, kind of struggling now in its EMA ribbon, facing a lot of resistance. So this is going to need Bitcoin to break above its EMA ribbon to see altcoins do something similar, to start doing this and moving itself to the upside. And similarly for other altcoins, right? If you take a look at something like Solana, it's managed to get above its EMA ribbon. So it's bucking the trend a little bit here, but it won't be able to sustain itself if Bitcoin doesn't sustain itself, right? If you look at something like Cardano, well below its EMA ribbon. If you look at Matic, getting rejected from its EMA ribbon. If you look at Avalanche, managing to close above. So you can start to see, just at a glance, using this handy tool that is the EMA ribbon, which altcoins are relatively more bullish than others. And one of those in the market right now is our little friend Dogecoin, right? Having a little pump here up 3.5%, but still running into its EMA ribbon. So this is going to be the kind of theme of the next couple of days is, can Bitcoin reclaim that EMA ribbon? Can it regain that daily EMA trend? And then we expect altcoins to start moving in a positive direction. One thing is for sure, altcoins are ready to move. They just need the big nod from the big brother Bitcoin to say, I'm going to stay green or at least sideways for a bit and not get rejected back down to that 38, 39 level. If Bitcoin shows strength and is able to move sideways here, I think altcoins could go on a bit of a run and we could see Bitcoin dominance start to fall a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you appreciate content, smash all the likes, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.